Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexis Papahelas. I'm the executive editor of Kathimerini. I'm here as part of this great annual event, the Delphi Forum. This year it's not live, of course. We all know why. And I'm very glad I got the invitation to moderate this discussion because it's a very rare, it's a very unique and original discussion between two mayors. We have the honor to have the mayor of Istanbul, Mr. Imamoglu, with us. Good morning from Athens, sir.
Good morning.
And we also have the mayor of Athens, Mr. Kostas Bakoyannis.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Mr. Papahelas. Congratulations to the organizers for showing such resilience in the face of adversity.
Let me ask you, first of all, have you ever met physically, Mr. Imamoglu, with the Athens mayor?
Now we are meeting.
Oh, so this is the first time?
But we hope to see you very soon, Mr. Mayor.
We haven't had the pleasure yet, Mr. Papahelas, but Mr. Imamoglu, let me take this opportunity to invite you to visit Athens. It would be a great pleasure to host you.
I want to invite you also to Istanbul. We can decide it together.
Of course.
And maybe we can talk about it. We have to be together. Istanbul and Athens, we have to be together for this geography also. And we believe that cities is very important in the future politics world. So we have to talk to this innovation.
Okay. Let me just ask our producers whether they can fix your sound because it's breaking up a bit. But let me ask you, first of all, what are the challenges Istanbul and yourself are facing with the COVID crisis? I know Turkey has been hit, quite hard by it. So I want your assessment, how has the city changed and what are your own challenges?
I want to be in Turkish and my friend
Sure.
translate with you.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Ben öncelikle gerçekten Atina Belediye Başkanımıza teşekkür ediyorum. Ve Sayın Moderatörü selamlıyorum. Açıkçası İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediyesi olarak 16 milyon halkımız adına bütün dinleyicileri selamlamayı
First of all, I would like to extend my sincere to all the participants, and I would like to thank especially to the mayor as the moderator, and all the participants. And I would like to extend the greetings of 16 million people from Istanbul.
Tabii COVID-19'e karşı kolektif bir mücadele yapıyoruz. Dolayısıyla her türlü dayanışma ve olduğumuzu başta söylemek istiyorum.
Of course, we believe that it is very against this pandemic. That is what all kinds of people.
Tabii ki 16 çok etkilendi. En önemli metropollerinden birisi olarak zor günleri geride düşünüyoruz belki ama atlatma sürecine şehir olarak şahsen de çok tehlikeli yaklaşıyor.
Of course, as one of the most Istanbul, with its 60 million population, was one of the cities that were most affected by this pandemic. And I believe that we're actually like the problems, but now we're in. I believe that as a city, we should continue to be very careful.
Mr. Mayor, if you just give me a second, if you could lower the volume on the speaker you have in your office, that's going to help our sound.
Yes.
If you could.
Now we are controlling. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, please.
Bildiğiniz gibi İstanbul'da sadece 8 milyon insan bir günde toplu ulaşımı kullanıyor ve sosyal mesafeyi bu anlamda çok önemsiyoruz. Bu noktada toplumun çok önemli.
In Istanbul, only in one day, using public transport in this one day. However, it's having great importance to physical distancing of people. That is why we're trying everything that we can about your attitudes in public transport.
Tabii Covid süreci en başta şöyle bir ortam geliştirdi. Ne yazık ki İstanbul büyük kentlerde hayatını günübirlik kazanan bir ekonomik düzen var ve bu düzenin sona ermesi insanların ciddi anlamda yoksullukla da karşı karşıya kalmasını sağladı.
But of course, COVID challenge only brought us a lot of challenges. For example, in Istanbul, which is a very big city, there are a lot of people who have no daily wages, daily employment. This process actually damaged such employment and actually brought a lot of poverty to a lot of people.
Bu yoksullukla mücadele en önemli konularımızdan birisiydi ve sosyal yardımlara çok odaklandık. Farklı modellerle gıda yardımından birçok oluşturduğumuz kampanyaya kadar 1 milyonun üzerinde aileye bu 3 ay içerisinde ciddi anlamda sosyal yardımı ulaştırdık İstanbul Büyükşehir Belediyesi olarak.
That is why actually we wanted to focus on eliminating poverty among our people, and we wanted to focus on social aid especially. And we provided food packages and we continue to help our citizens who are in need. And until now, for the past 2 months actually, we helped more than 1 million families and some of them
Belediyemizin öncü olduğu yardımlaşma kampanyası da toplumun birbiriyle bu zor dönemde bağ kurmasına çok öncü oldu ve yardıma ihtiyacı olan insanlarla yardım etmek insanları buluşturmak da bence bu dönemin ruhu açısından kıymetli bir kampanyaya dönüştü İstanbul'da.
especially as a social municipality, social aid campaign, and our campaign together connect our citizens. So we try to bring together people in need with the charitable people, and that's why it's less the spirit of this process.
Bu oluşabilecek bazı ortamlarda ki şehirler buna çok müsait olabiliyor. Bu tür vicdanı korumak, sosyal çatışmaların da önüne geçebilecek bir davranıştı. Bu manada askıda fatura uygulamamız gerçekten örnek bir uygulamaydı. Burada neredeyse 200 bine yaklaşan insanın su ve gaz faturasını başka insanlar ödedi ve burada toplanan yardım rakamı 3 milyon euroyu aşmış durumda. Gerçekten olağanüstü bir yardımlaşma modeliydi.
Especially in cities, I believe it is very important to avoid actually the consciousness of people, because that would also eliminate the social conflict among people. Such attitude would bring people closer. Especially, I would like to mention one of our campaigns called Bill on the Roof campaign. We brought together people who are not able to pay their bills, with people who are willing to cover those bills out of solidarity. With this new model, we actually enabled the communities to pay water and gas bills of 200,000 people in Istanbul. It was paid by the charitable citizens of our city. And actually, we brought together more than 2 million people out of charitable
Baktığımızda
if I could, for 1 second, I'll turn to the Athens mayor and we'll give you a bit of time to fix the sound because we don't get it very clearly, so it's hard to follow the conversation sometimes. So I'll turn to your Athens colleague, and then we'll turn back to you in a minute, try to fix this up. So, Mr. Mayor, your own challenges after the COVID-19, I think you saw this a bit as an opportunity besides the threat and the challenge, right?
Well, as you know, our Chinese friends define crisis as both an opportunity and as a threat. And for us, it was an opportunity to address a number of structural challenges that the city of Athens faced. But if I may, let me just take a step back first and say that in Greece, we were very fortunate because the government acted swiftly and decisively. Decisions were taken, brave decisions were taken early on. These decisions prioritized human life over all else, and as a result, we were able very quickly to flatten the curve. And there were also, I think, two positive elements in all of this. Number one, that we were able to put expertise, we were able to put knowledge, we were able to put facts over partisan politics and populism. Number two is that the Greek people displayed a very impressive sense of common responsibility and solidarity. Having said that, we're now moving forward with a new managerial approach, because both on a national level and on a local level, I think it is fair to say that many of us were able to harness the crisis and deliver on long overdue reforms. Let me give you a few examples. The city of Athens had the opportunity to very quickly restructure all its operations and essentially enter the digital world, thus delivering e-services to our citizens. And also when we're talking about the social net, right now, as we speak, very quickly, we delivered on a new homeless center. We delivered on a new center for the drug addicts who were looking for shelter. And at the same time, we created a social program called Help at Home Plus to make sure that the less fortunate and the vulnerable don't feel alone. We delivered, for example, tens of thousands of care packages within the last few weeks. What's important is that all of us, I think, at the same time, during the quarantine, were able to reevaluate our way of life, our lifestyle, and prioritize public space.
And today you have the launching of the Great Walk, right? Which
Exactly.
is a new initiative.
And that's why today we're very happy that we are moving forward with a new program. It's a so-called Great Walk that we believe will change not only the image of the city, but will also change the quality of life within the city. Of course, it's a pilot project. We are following a new model of public works in Greece, where we are basically asking for the input of all our citizens in real life, not only in theory, but in practice. And we are very optimistic about the future.
Okay. Let me turn back to the mayor of Istanbul. Mr. Imamoglu, I don't know whether you can hear me. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. I want to ask you now about the other challenge that I know your city is facing, Athens is facing that as well, which is immigration. Could you tell us a bit about how you're dealing with that and how much of a problem it has become?
Tabii Türkiye'de mültecilerin konusu da çok önemli ve İstanbul konuda büyük bir yüke sahip. Söylemem gerekir ki bir İstanbul süreci var ve 16 milyonluk nüfusun 1 milyon 600 bin üzerinde mülteciyi İstanbul'da aslında misafir ediyor. Zor dönemde.
Refugees is actually a very important challenge. Istanbul especially, responsibility for ourselves. We have 16 million population, but among this population, we have 1,600,000 refugees in our city.
Göç konusunda İstanbul tabii deneyimleri yüksek ve bu konuda tedbir alma sürecine çok hızlı girdik. Zaten göreve geldiğimiz ilk günden itibaren sadece süreci bir merkezi hükümetin görevidir demeyip direkt Büyükşehir Belediyesi olarak sıkı bir bağ kurmuştuk. Covid sürecinde bunun çok faydasını gördük.
Of course, Istanbul is actually a city that is very experienced in terms of migrants and refugees. And since the first day we took our office, we never thought that the central government at some metropolitan hotels and we wanted to establish a very close connection with refugees in our city. And during this pandemic period, we have a lot of good positive reactions to this close connection.
Bu süreçte açıkçası o mültecilerin bütün ihtiyaçlarını karşılama konusunda çok hızlı hareket ettik diyebilirim. Tabii böyle bir sürecin dışında mülteci konusunu çok daha geniş ele alınması gerektiğini altını çizmek istiyorum. Türkiye bu konuda çok etkileniyor. İstanbul bu konudan çok etkileniyor. Bu sürecin Avrupa'yı nasıl zorladığını görüyoruz. Bundan en fazla etkilenen ülkelerin başında Yunanistan geliyor. Dolayısıyla sanki bu mülteci konusu sadece Türkiye'nin sorunu gibi algılanması bizi çok üzüyor.
Of course, apart from the pandemic period, and I think we should take this in a very broader perspective, discuss this refugee problem in a very broader perspective, because Turkey is among the countries that is the most affected by this challenge. Istanbul, actually, the city, is the most affected city among the world, and it is actually posing a great challenge for Europe as well. And Greece is actually among the countries who are affected mostly by the refugee problem. That is why I believe that we shouldn't only see it as a problem of Turkey. It's not a problem, it's not a burden on Turkey's shoulders only, it's a problem for the whole world.
Orta Doğu'da yaşanan bu travmanın Türkiye'de bu kadar yoğun hissedilmesi ve Avrupa'yı zorlaması bütün dünya tarafından ele alınmalı ve bu konuda başta Avrupa olmak üzere dünyanın diğer kuruluşlarıyla beraber ortak çözüm üretmenin çok önemli bir hassasiyet olduğunu belirtmek istiyorum. Eğer bunu başarabilirsek dünyanın yarınlarda önüne daha farklı bir mülteci konusu geldiğinde çok daha doğru davranışlarda reflekslerinde bulunmak. Ama şu ana kadar dünyanın bu refleksi dünyanın göstermediğini düşünüyorum.
Because the trauma that was actually happening in the Middle East is felt very in Turkey. It is a challenge in Europe. That is why especially Europe should come together. The countries, relevant institutions, relevant countries, we need to come together, come to solution to this problem. Because it's a very delicate matter. We need to solve it right now, because that will be a better reflection for tomorrow, and we will be better prepared for tomorrow.
Okay. Let me ask you, Mr. Bakoyannis, about the same issue, immigration.
Well, Mr. Papahelas, let me first of all agree that this is an international problem that requires an international solution. And of course, this is a challenge for all of us to rise to the occasion and actually act multilaterally rather than unilaterally. Because the worst that we can do is to actually succumb to the temptation and weaponize or instrumentalize the plight and the despair of these human beings. Having said that, decisions are taken on a national level and on an international level, but it is us in cities, in real life, that have to live with the consequences of these decisions. The city of Athens has, right now, as we speak, is one of the protagonists, if I may say so, throughout Europe in terms of managing this challenge and actually delivering real solutions to real problems. Let me just mention a couple of examples. We are the only city in Europe right now, the only city that actually has a hospitality center which we co-manage. 50% of the management lies with the city of Athens within the city. Number two, we have hundreds of apartments that we actually offer with the help of international organizations to refugees. Number three, we have a number of programs that aim at the incorporation of these people within Athenian society. Of course, however, it is important that we all draw some lines. Greece, as you know, has drawn a line. Europe has drawn a line. And we all hope that moving forward, we will find more open doors for actually working together.
Let me ask you, Mayor, your city, like Athens, is a major tourist destination and has been hit very hard by the COVID crisis. When do you expect your city to open up again, for tourists to come in? Do you think this summer season is lost? Do you have to look towards the spring and next summer?
ne yazık ki turizm kötü etkilendi. Halen e, oteller kapalı İstanbul'da. Yeni açılma sürecine hazırlanan oteller var. Biz gibi seyahat kısıtlaması var. Özellikle Avrupa'nın şu anda açıkladığı bazı takvimler İstanbul'da çok etkiliyor. Ve yurt dışından gelişler çok kısıtlı. Benim öngörümle tabii İstanbul süreci iyi yönettiğini düşünüyorum ve şu anda İstanbul tümüyle hizmet alanlarıyla restoranları, otelleri aslında hazırlıklarını tamamlamış durumda ve hijyen kurallarına uyan çok iyi bir süreci yönetiyor.
Of course, tourism was badly affected in Istanbul as the rest of the world. Our hotels are closed at the moment, but most of them are getting ready for the normal fishing period. But of course, travel limits are continuing across the world because there are some countries actually who are limiting their travel. They are putting travel restrictions on their citizens, and there's a limited number of people going to Istanbul for tourism purposes. But as Istanbul, I believe, remains a very good period at this moment because we prepared all our services, hotels, all institutions are ready to follow all the hygiene rules, and I believe that many a very good message.
Ama ben sürece daha global bakıyorum ve sadece İstanbul özelinde değil, dünyanın ekonomik aşamalarıyla baktığımızda önümüzdeki 1,5 yılı açıkçası çok sıkıntılı geçeceğini düşünüyorum. Bütün dünya için söylüyorum. Zira dünyayı rahatlatacak olan koronavirüsüyle ilgili çözümün bulunması. Bu manada turizm için de İstanbul'un ya da başka bir bölgenin ya da ülkenin gerçekten bu sezonu çok minimum kazançlarla geçirmek zorunda kalacağını öngörüyorum. Tabii buna hem ekonomik olarak tedbirlerimizi almak, bütün dünyanın dayanışma içerisinde olmak, ciddi sektör kayıplarına uğramamak için de dayanışma içerisinde olmayı hem dünya ölçeğinde, ülke ölçeğinde başarabilmemiz şart.
But of course, we need to have a broader perspective. We need to look at the whole world because Istanbul will not be the only city affected by this process. The whole world's economy will be affected by this. And actually, we're talking about at least 1.5 years to solve these problems. It will be a very troubled 1.5 years, I think, for the world economy. In order to relieve this problem, until we can find a solution to this pandemic, our tourism, of course, will be badly affected as the rest of the world. This season, I believe we should all be earnings in this season. Because in the long term, we will see more economic measures. And I believe that in order to prevent massive losses, we need to be solidarity and cooperation with the rest of the world.
How about Athens?
Well, this is a difficult year. There's no question about it. Having said that, I think it's very important to note that for the first time after a long while, there is a very strong and positive message that's actually coming out of Greece. And that is that the Greeks and the Greek government, having effectively managed this health crisis, have created a safe haven within the country. In other words, that it's not just that Greece and Athens is a beautiful destination, it's not just our sites, it's not just our history, it's much more than that. That we can actually deliver a safe environment for the health of our visitors. Therefore, although we do face a difficult time, I'm optimistic. I don't think that everything is lost.
So when do you expect the return to normalcy?
Well, as you know, the normalcy, or something that resembles normalcy, has been gradually returning. Our cafes are open, our restaurants are open, our archaeological sites
But we don't see tourists yet.
are opening. And all these are open, making sure that we actually have all the necessary rules, not only social distancing, but also in terms of hygiene, to protect everyone involved. But, you know, this conversation is not just about this summer. It's about the next summer and the summer after that. Right now, as we speak, there is a global race going on. It's a global race among cities. Look at what's happening in Milan, in Rome, in Paris, in New York. All cities are evolving. All cities are changing. Why? Because we all want to attract three things. We want to attract talent, human talent. We want to attract investment. And we also want to attract tourism. Athens has begun this transformation. It began this morning with a great walk. Athens has joined this global race. So I insist on actually looking at the positive side of things. Every crisis, as we said earlier, is indeed an opportunity.
Now, Mr. Mayor, my real job or my regular job is creating news, so I want to turn a bit to the Greek-Turkish issues. And I want to ask you a question which is discussed very widely here in Greece. I know it's discussed in Turkey. There's this talk now about Hagia Sophia becoming a mosque at some point. So I just want your own opinion. Do you think it should be turned into a mosque or it shouldn't?
Tabii şu anda Türkiye'nin ve dünyanın bambaşka sorunları var. Ülkeler bu konuda süreç yönetimleriyle alakalı bazen tabii iç malzemelerine ihtiyaç duyabilir. Ben ne İstanbul'un ne de Türkiye'nin şu anda böyle bir gündeme ihtiyaç duyduğunu düşünmüyorum. Bazen bu tür konular hassas tartışılmalıdır. Hem tarihsel ölçekte hem inanç ölçeğinde hassas tartışılmalıdır. Ama şu anda bunun bir iç siyaset malzemesi şeklinde tartışılması da beni şahsen üzmektedir.
In Turkey, actually, we have different problems. In the rest of the world countries, they have different problems. And some countries actually might have a waste of energy in their processes. And I believe that issues shouldn't be material for the internal politics, because right now, neither Istanbul nor Turkey needs such a political agenda. We need to have a different agenda, because these matters are very delicate matters, and we need to be very sensitive in terms of historical perspective and religious perspective. And I believe such issues, as I mentioned, shouldn't be a material for internal politics.
I'm not sure we got the answer because we have this sound problem, but anyway, I'll just follow on this. What's the process? What should we expect in terms of this in the next coming months? I know there's a Council of State decision in Turkey that's going to be issued in September or something. So what should we expect?
Bu konu açıkçası bir şehir konseyinin ya da meclisinin konusu değil. Şu anda bizim yetkimiz dahilinde de değil. Tümüyle Kültür Bakanlığı'nın ve merkezi hükümetin yetkisinde olan ve Türkiye'de bu tür ibadethanelerin kontrolü de tamamen yine merkezi hükümetin bir diğer bakanlığına ait. Dolayısıyla bu konuda şehrin yorumunun ya da şehrin meclisinde bu konunun tartışılacağını ya da bir karar konusunda fikrinin sorulacağını merkezi hükümet tarafından düşünmüyorum.
This actually is a matter that will not be discussed in the city council. It is not within our authority. It is within the authority of the Ministry of Culture and the central government. And the running of virtue places is within the responsibility of the central government. That is why I don't think that we will be discussing this matter in the city municipality, in our municipal assembly, and I don't really think that the central government is going to ask for the decision of the municipality.
I want to ask you, Mr. Mayor, there's tension, we all know, this summer between Greece and Turkey. Are you concerned about this? And is there any room for people-to-people diplomacy or city-to-city diplomacy? Do you see any leeway for that?
Yes, of course. Let me remind you that the last rapprochement took place in 1999, and it actually began with the so-called earthquake diplomacy, when there was actually an outpouring of human emotion, and that actually showed that despite the national issues that may distance us, there is a lot of common ground for people to come together. So yes, the answer is clear. I am looking forward to working with the mayor on actually improving our relationship and building bottom-up. And I think Hagia Sophia could be an excellent starting point. As you know, Hagia Sophia is not an object, or should not be an object, of Greek-Turkish relations. Hagia Sophia is a World Heritage Monument. It belongs to the world. It actually stands as a symbol of intercultural dialogue. It actually stands as a symbol of religious freedom. It actually stands as a symbol of the symbiosis, the peaceful symbiosis of civilizations. And it's very important for all of us who have the great honor to actually have World Heritage sites within our cities, to do our best to protect our world, our common heritage, and make sure that we deliver it to the next generations.
Mr. Mayor, are you concerned about the tensions between Greece and Turkey at this point?
Biz tabii Türkiye ve Yunanistan ilişkilerini çok önemsiyoruz. Bu konuda İstanbul ve Atina'nın bu ilişkileri çok daha sağlıklı bir sürece taşıyabileceğine inanıyorum. Zira biz aynı toprakları paylaşıyoruz, aynı bölgede yaşıyoruz ve bizi bir arada tutacak bizim insanlarımızın, halkların dostluğunu en üst seviyede tutacak çok derin bağlara sahip olduğumuzu biliyorum.
Of course, we attach great importance to the relations between Turkey and Greece. And as Istanbul and Athens, I believe that we can carry these relations forward in a very healthy manner because we have roots from the same geography, we're sharing the same geography. That is why I believe that the friendship between our people is very deep-rooted and we need to further build on.
Açıkçası bu konuda kentlerin çok daha ciddi kullanılacağını bilen bir kişi olarak özellikle barışa, istikrara dönük ciddi adımlar atabiliriz. Bu konuda gerçekten Sayın Bakoyannis, ben kendimi çok sorumlu hissediyorum. Yunanistan'a daha önce de geldim. Selanik'te çok güzel dostluklar elde ettim. Ve hala o dostlukları sürdürüyorum. Aslında biz ne kadar birçok anti-propagandaya rağmen, oluşturulan suni gündemlere rağmen aslında halkların kardeşliği ve dostluğunun ne kadar daha farklı bir yerde olduğunu bilen bir belediye başkanı.
As cities, I know that cities should be taking on more active role. I know that will also contribute to the peace and stability of our cities and our country. And that is why I believe that as Mayor of Istanbul myself and my colleague, Mayor Bakoyannis, should actually take more serious steps to further build on this because I feel responsible to further build on this. I have visited Greece before, and I've made very good friends there. Our friendships are still continuing actually. And I think that despite all the anti-propaganda in our country and our people, I believe that our people are very close friends and they're aware of this valuable friendship.
Ben bu konuda Bay Bakoyannis'le her zaman bu diyaloğa hazır olduğumu ve çok iyi işbirlikleri oluşturabileceğimizi, buna her iki ülkenin de hazır olduğunu, her iki ülke halkının da hazır olduğunu bilerek umut ediyorum. Güzel bir başlangıç olur bu forum toplantısı. Çok daha iyi ilişkiler dönemini hep birlikte yaşatacağımıza inanıyorum.
That is why I would like to express respect to my dear colleague Bakoyannis that I'm very open to establishing such a dialogue because I believe that we want to have very good cooperation between our cities and our municipalities. I believe that both countries and both cities are very ready to have such better relations. Our people are ready for such better relations. That is why I believe this conversation that we are having at this moment will be a very good start for such good relations in the future.
Mr. Mayor, your response?
Well, I'm very happy to hear that my colleague, the mayor of Istanbul, is positive. I think we have a great opportunity, Mr. Mayor, to move forward together. We have the distinct honor, both of us, to serve two great and historic cities, two cities that have been intertwined in history over hundreds of years. And I hope that we'll be able to meet soon, either in Athens, where, as I said, you are invited, or in Istanbul, so we can actually come up with a concrete agenda. There is a lot of space. For example, let me mention cultural exchanges that can help bring our people together. But let me also mention the exchange of good practices. I know that you have a very strong interest in the transportation system. We also have a very strong interest in sustainable mobility. So I think that there is a lot that we can learn from each other.
Mr. Mayor, you think there are specific initiatives that can be taken and maybe you can move ahead on those?
Kesinlikle tüm söylediklerine katılıyorum. Sadece kültürel ya da iyi ilişkiler bağlamında değil, teknik kapasitesi çok iyi olan iki kentin her türlü deneyiminde de işbirliğine hazır olduğumuzu ben de belirtmek istiyorum. 2000 yılında yapılan işbirliği protokolünü den sonra çok iyi bir dönem geçirmediğini öngörüyorum. Belki de Atina ve İstanbul dünyada örnek iyi ilişkileri taşıyabilecek potansiyele sahip. Açıkçası ben şöyle bir daveti renkli hale getireyim. İstanbul Boğazı'nda Bay Kostas ve eşiyle beraber sizleri burada ağırlamak ve inşallah eşim Dilek ve bayan Siyah Kosiyoni'nin öngöreceği biçimde ilişkileri daha da kuvvetli hale getirebileceğimizi şimdiden belirteyim. Ben sizi Boğaz'da balık yemeye davet ediyorum.
I absolutely agree with the agenda that you have suggested about the cultural exchanges and adhering to the exchanges, because I believe both cities have potential to exchange ideas, not only on the cultural front, but also on technical capacity building. That is why I'm congratulating both very for such cooperation. And as you might already know, we have a cooperation protocol that was signed in 2000, actually, but we didn't get very far with that. I think right now we have the need very important to build more on that cooperation protocol. Because I believe that Istanbul and has the potential to be a role model for the rest of the world to establish good relations between the two cities. And that is why I would like to extend my sincere invitation to my colleague to eat fish actually along the boat along with your wife, so that we can also get the opinions of our team staff, what they have actually to say. On a better level.
Did I hear the name Sia Kosioni somewhere in there?
I think so as well. In any case, I must say, Mr. Papahelas, that I'm always very happy to hear this name. Let me say that, as you know, Mr. Mayor, all of us Greeks have a very strong emotional attachment with your great city. And that's why there is all this interest that is coming from Greece. It is actually a positive interest. And I'm very happy to hear that you take it in a constructive way. And I know, because I have many Turkish friends, that there is also a very strong interest in Athens. So yes, there is clearly an opportunity there. I think we both want to take our cities forward. We both want to be equally proud of our past as we are of our present and especially of our future.
Ben bu ilişkileri çok yakın biliyor ve hissediyorum. İstanbul'da geçmişte Yunanistan'dan buraya göç etmiş insanlarla bir aradayım. Ve aynı zamanda Yunanistan'a göç etmiş insanları defalarca burada ağırladım. Hatta yaşadıkları yeri de Selanik'te ziyaret ettim. Onların konuğu oldum. Dolayısıyla biz bütün bu bağları 21. yüzyılda samimiyete, dostluğa, kültürel birliktelikten doğan ve geleceğe dair çok kuvvetli mesajlar verebilen bir sisteme taşıyabiliriz. Bunu daha da sıcak hale getirecek olan gerçekten aile bağlarıdır. Bu konuda biz her zaman değerli başkanla, değerli eşliyle o sıcak ilişkiye hazır olduğumuzu tekrar belirtmek istiyorum.
I actually feel, and what you just mentioned about people being deep within our cities. For example, in Istanbul, I have met many people who migrated from cities. And I've also met a lot of people, I've also a lot of people who migrated from Istanbul to cities. And I have listened to their experiences, their opinions, and I visited their homes in Thessaloniki. And that is why actually I believe that in some sort of installation that would suit the spirit of the 21st century, that would be established on a very friendly ground. We can exchange a lot of things on a cultural level and historical level. And I believe that a city can hold a very strong message for the future of our people, the people of the two countries. That is why actually I mentioned family life also. I would like to welcome Ms. Kathimerini and yourself to our city. And I would like to host you at a local dinner with my wife so that we can establish these relations on a more level.
Mr. Mayor, let me ask you, rumor has it that your family has origins in Greece. Is that true, or is that just a rumor?
Böyle bir şey olsa da bunu zevkle söylerdim. Ben Trabzon doğumluyum. Ailem ülkemizi araştırdığımızda yaklaşık 300 yılı aşkın süredir orada. İmamoğlu soyadı Anadolu'nun farklı yerlerinde de var. İç Anadolu'da, Güneydoğu Anadolu'da. Bir aslında bir boy, bir soy. Hatta aynı soyadı Balkanlarda, Yunanistan ve diğer bölgelerde de rastlayabiliyorum. Ama dediğim gibi Yunanistan'la bir kökte bir bağım yok. Olsa bunu zevkle paylaşırım.
If I had, actually, I would be very about that. I was born in Trabzon, and I actually that my family line, my family has been in Trabzon for the past 300 years, actually. My surname is Imamoğlu, and we can see the surname in different parts of Anatolia and the middle part of the Anatolia. And I've actually found the surname in some of the area. I found a family with that surname. But unfortunately, I've had no findings, so I cannot say that I have this piece, but if it was, actually, I'm very happy to say that loud.
With that, I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was very kind of you to be with us today. Hope to see you in Athens or in Istanbul. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very
also.
much, Mr. Papahelas. That was an excellent conversation. I think we actually broke new ground this morning.
I hope so. Okay, thank you very much.